While visiting the Monstrum booth at SHOT Show, they showed me a prototype of a 2000 lumen weapon light. And this is it, the Monstrum Raider X1. Let's check it out. Hey, Moondog here. Welcome back to Moondog Industries, and today I have a Monstrum Raider X1 tactical light. Now, this is a combination hand stop and tactical light that purports to output 2000 lumens. And I first got a chance to check this out at SHOT Show earlier this year at the Monstrum booth. But back then, the prototype didn't even have a name. Well, now it's out. It is the Monstrum Raider X1. So we're going to take it out of the box, see what you get, test it out, and see if it lives up to expectations. So rather than bore you with the tedious process of unboxing it, I'm just going to show you what you get in the box. So here you go. I really like the fact that they included an M-LOK to Picatinny adapter rail. Well, enough gawking, let's take a closer look. So this is the Monstrum Raider X1, and let's take a closer look at this thing. It looks really nicely constructed. This angle here is for your hand. It functions as an angled hand grip on the bottom of your rifle. It is designed to fit a Picatinny rail. It has 2 recoil lugs and 2 screws to tighten it, to clamp it down onto your rail. If you do not have a Picatinny rail and you have an M-LOK slot on your receiver or your handguard, you can attach this it comes with a M-LOK to Picatinny rail, so that's a nice little addition to this. It charges via USB-C, and there's a port with this silicone rubber cover there. You can just plug that in and to charge. And there is a charging indicator here. It's an LED light that lights up orange while it's charging and blue when it is fully charged. This is the only other silicone part that is not, or the only other part that is not metal. It is your activation button. It's only on one side, on the left side, and one press turns it on. Quite bright. It purports to be 2000 lumens, and we're going to test that out, and then press it again to cycle to its low or regular mode from the high mode, and then press a third time to turn it off. There is also a strobe mode, but it requires that you press it for about 6 seconds, so there is no momentary on. So if you press it down, nothing will happen other than turning it on once you let go. And if you keep it pressed, like I said, it goes into strobe mode. There you go. Turn it off again, just tap it. But there is no other controls apart from this single button here. The front, I believe that's a glass lens there, and it purports to output 2000 lumens, which we'll test out pretty soon. But overall, it looks really well made. Nice cuts for a good grip point there, and it feels very ergonomic. And it's not too. It feels really solid. You could probably hammer nails with this thing. This feels so solid. It weighs under 11 ounces, so it's not even a pound, though it feels quite hefty. It's not too thick. I mean, it's about an inch, a little over an inch thick, and let's see here, a little under 3 inches tall, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, a little under 7 inches long. So it is chunky, but it is reasonably sized for a 2000 lumen light. And let's get started testing with this. So the first test I wanted to run was confirming that it outputs 2000 lumens on high, and I ran the weapon light for 30 seconds to warm up the chemistry and the battery, and I put it into my homebrew lumen tester. Now this is by no means a scientifically accurate device, but I did calibrate it to a known 100 lumen light. 1860 lumens. A little less than the 2000 advertised, but I would say reasonably close. Alright, this is the V1 in its high mode, which is its default starting off. Quite bright to the naked eye. Of course, the camera is automatically adjusting to the brightness here. I can make out a definite hot spot about 3 feet wide at a distance of 10 feet, and a very bright spill. There is a graduation on the spill at the very outer edges, and if I tilt this down, you can kind of see it going to like a secondary hotspot almost. And then there is a faint ring beyond that. And let's just see, it's a low mode, and that would be in its low mode approximately about half. Visually, it looks like about half as bright as its bright mode. And as you can see, quite bright. You can make out the ring pattern here. I can easily make out the fruit trees in the backyard, as well as the wall there 50 feet away, the tree line up on the hill 60 feet away, and easily make out the telephone pole 120 feet away, even in its low mode, which is this mode here. Industry standard drop tests are from 1 meter or 3 feet. I'm going to drop it from 6 feet twice onto rocks and dirt, so we'll see if it still works. Alright, we're going to test both of these radars and see how long they can run on high mode. So we're going to start by turning it on. And we're going to do a time lapse and see how long they'll stay running. "78 minutes. The radar is IPX6 rated, which means it can withstand high-pressure water jets from any direction. Had pressed that by mistake, but actually it shows that it is working. Alright, so I thought this passed the IPX6 water test that I did, but if you can notice here, we're starting to get fog on the inside of the lens there, and I can see some moisture seeping out of the pressure switch there. But more importantly, when I lifted up the battery cap here, I could see moisture had gotten underneath the silicone flap. And if I shake this out, I don't know if you can see this there, that is water droplets coming out of the unit itself. So water did, fortunately, get in. So I'm going to have to say that this actually failed the IPX6 test. Despite this, I dried it off, took it to the range, and gave it a trial by fire, metaphorically and literally. I mounted the X1 on my Keltec Sub 2000, which is lightweight and therefore has a bit more recoil than my AR in 5.56. The X1's wedge shape was quite comfortable to hold, though I did find that I preferred mounting the X1 a bit further forward than it was designed to. Mounted in this position past the front of my handguard, there's only one recoil lug and screw holding it in place, though it did feel quite secure. No wiggle, rattle, or flex at all. And the unit, despite having some moisture still left inside of it from my water test, worked flawlessly. Looking through the footage, I could see no flicker in the beam as I was firing from the recoil, and the controls worked reliably. The X1 certainly looks and feels rugged, so much so I gave it one final test that I don't often give a flashlight. Alright, so the Raider X1, what do I think of it? Well, before I get into it, I'd like to ask you a quick favor and just hit that subscribe button. Now, it's absolutely free to subscribe, and they really should change the name of that button to follow or fan or whatever, but you know, it is what it is. So by hitting the subscribe button, this channel grows, so I'd appreciate it if you hit that button if you haven't already become a subscriber to this channel. And of course, hit the like button and the notification bell, because when you hit the like button, you're letting letting the algorithm know that you like this video, obviously, and it'll suggest it to other folks like you when you do that. So thanks for doing that. All right, so pros and cons of this, and let's just start with the cons. I've really got two shortcomings that I've found while testing this, and the first one is I don't like the controls on this. I don't like the fact that there's one button and that also adjusts the brightness on this. It's that, you know, you have to go through. This is high mode, regular, and then off. So if you want to turn it off, you have to cycle through all the modes, and that's really an old-fashioned way of controlling a weapon light. Maybe that's something you like. Maybe that's something you're really used to with the old clicky weapon lights, but not so much for me. I want to have a dedicated control scheme to adjust the brightness, and I want it to have mode memory. I want it to know which brightness setting. Like if I was on regular mode, I would want to go back to the regular mode. I have to go through the bright mode first, and you know, you could potentially blind yourself in a small area from the backsplash on that. But anyway, the other reason the other shortcoming of this is that it is not truly IPX6 rated. When I was using the high pressure washer, I got some moisture inside here, whether it was through the lens or maybe through one of the silicone seals, I don't know. But anyway, there was a bit of moisture that I found later on. And, you know, they could improve the seals, the weather seals on this, or simply just change the packaging to say IPX5. You know, that means that it can survive low pressure water jets or rain. And, you know, I'm fine with any weapon light that can survive rain. And this wouldn't survive a full immersion anyway at IPX6, so why not just make it IPX5? There, fixed, done. There's a lot I like about this. I mean, this thing is just super durable. As you saw in my torture tests, this really just survived it and asked for more. In fact, you could probably use this as a hammer. It's just that beefy. So there's a lot to like about that. Some improvements they could do if they rolled out a Gen 2, I would add an extra lug and a tightening screw at the back. That way you could place this farther forward on your handguard. The other thing I would have liked if they would have added an extra control button on the other side. That way it's truly ambidextrous, and you could have the control scheme where if you want to change the brightness setting, you pinch it, and if you want to turn it on, you just press one of them, one or the other. There you go. One and done, or two and done in that case. The other thing I would like them to add is the LED light here. It should also tell you how much of a charge it has left, or if it needs to be recharged. I'd like to know that before, you know, going into a dicey situation, how much of a charge is left, especially if I've had this in storage for a bit. That would be nice to have. And also, because this is USB-C charging port, it would be great if you could also charge things with this. And yeah, I sent all of these suggestions over to Monstrum, and they're actually very positive about hearing about them. And if you have any other suggestions yourself, leave me a comment, and I'll forward it on to the folks over at Monstrum. And if you're interested in picking one up, please, you can find a link in my in the video description to my full written review at moondogindustries.com, and you'll find a link to the product there. If you're interested in picking one up, use that link. It doesn't cost you anything more than not using that link, and when you use that link, I do get a tiny little commission, but every little bit helps. And, you know, it doesn't cost you anything more, so why not use it? Anyway, again, if you like this video, please hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks for watching. You be safe. Moondog, out. Hey, I'd like to know what you thought of this video. Leave me a comment or chat with me on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, MeWe, Instagram, or Locals. And if you want to see all of my videos, go to moondogindustries.com.